Hi, I'm Gilberto Pineda, and this is En Breve, a brief presentation on news, interviews, and events about the Hispanic community in the St. Louis region. We'd start with a visit from our guest correspondent, Daniela Velazquez, who is also the communications director for the ACLU of Missouri. Daniela, bienvenida. Welcome again.
Nice to be here.
Oh my gosh, another season of En Breve.
I know, time flies.
We're doing it. So tell me what's going on with DACA here in Missouri, especially, since we're going to talk about that issue in more depth with Arelis when she comes back.
Sure. Well, DACA is Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, and it's a federal thing.
Yeah.
And there are over 700,000 DACA recipients across the nation, but there are more than 3,500 here in Missouri. And what people tend to not realize is that DACA recipients, they're a part of our community. They a lot of times they grow up here, they go to famous St. Louis question, they go to high school here. They're members of the community, they're doctors, nurses, and they're part of it. And they actually generate more than $200 million in gross domestic product. So
how do they generate that $200 million in gross domestic product?
Well, they pay taxes.
Okay.
They work. And one thing about DACA is that it's not necessarily an easy process, and it's an expensive process. So the people who are here, they want to be here, and they want to be a part of the community.
Okay. And so what's going on with this tuition issue that's happening to Dreamers, to DACA recipients?
So for a couple years now, the Missouri legislature has decided that it wants to legislate, do like immigration legislation through the budget bill, through the higher education budget bill. So there is a version that has been approved by the Missouri House that basically penalizes higher education institutions if they give a DACA student or DACA recipient a certain tuition rate. Previously, they were charging, like I said, people in the community, international tuition rates to go to school. And
I know I heard from Arelis that it's like 3 times for per credit.
Yes.
To pay for an international tuition rate,
right,
which is outrageous.
For people who grow up here.
Yeah, for people who grew up in the state of Missouri.
So it's actually unconstitutional to legislate that way. There's something called the Hammerschmidt Rule, believe it or not, that basically says each bill has to focus on one subject. So in this case, it's the budget bill, so how to fund higher education institutions. And what this bill basically does is forces higher education institutions to think about and to basically work on immigration law, which is nearly as complicated as the tax code. I mean, would you ask a college counselor to do your taxes?
No.
I mean, and in some ways, that's exactly what we're asking these schools to do. I mean, this is not their area of expertise. It's really complicated, and we're making it about a residency and immigration issue instead of focusing on education.
Why don't you hear more about institutions pushing back against something like this?
Well, I mean, let's be honest. They're in a really hard place because if they choose or if they get penalized, according to the way the bill is written now, they could lose some of their state funding.
That's true. And that's why it's very, like you said, very difficult to navigate a situation where you're penalizing people that really want to learn and contribute to the society here, to the community.
Exactly. And the thing, too, about this issue is that usually, Latinos, families stick together, right? So where there's opportunity or there's a lack of opportunity, people leave or stay. So in that $200 million of gross domestic product of, contributing to the community, oftentimes when one family member leaves or has to leave, it can often take the whole family. So we're not just thinking about one person contributing to the community, we're thinking about a whole family. And that's just the economic side. That's not even the people side.
That's the economic side. And by the way, there's no, Latinos are not the only DACA recipients, right?
Very good point. Yes, absolutely. You are correct.
So this affects everybody from every nation that comes here and grows up here because their parents bring them, and then all of a sudden they want to contribute to society, they want to be a positive influence here, but they face limitations.
Exactly. And one of the interesting things I think that people maybe in Missouri don't realize, or maybe they do actually, because there was a lot of support for DACA, is that actually most of the nation supports DACA.
Yes.
It's more than 3/4 of the country. So we're talking liberals, conservatives, Democrats, Republicans. I mean, most people want a resolution to this issue in a positive way. Most people want DACA recipients to stay here.
And contribute.
And contribute and be a part of their community, be their neighbors and their friends.
So Daniela, thank you so much for being here today. Once again, I know that you're our guest correspondent, and we're going to have you back on En Breve. So if we want to get in contact with ACLU, do we go to the website or?
Yes.
Okay, and that is?
www.aclu-mo.org. We're also on all the social media things.
Okay.
So you can find us
Facebook,
on
Twitter,
Instagram. Not on Snapchat yet, but
But
we'll try and keep it fresh. We're moving that way.
Okay, well, listen, continue your work. You're doing an excellent work for the community, not just for the community, the Latino community, but everybody in general that needs ACLU.
And thank you for highlighting these very important issues.
Well, when we come back, we're going to talk with Arelis Munoz Reyes, but first we're going to see a package from Jessica Olmos, who's our guest contributor, and she will take us to a party at Santa Cecilia's Church in South St. Louis. We'll be right back.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
Welcome back. Recently, our guest contributor, Jessica Olmos, visited Santa Cecilia's Church in South City for a festival and fundraiser celebration, better known as Kermés. Let's see.
Hello, my name is Father Anthony Ochoa. I'm the pastor of St. Cecilia Catholic Church on the south side of St. Louis. Many of you will know us from our very famous Mexican fish fries. I'd like to announce that we also have monthly a kermés, or a parish picnic, that will begin this coming month of May.
Hi, my name is Anna, and I like the kermés because there's lots of food to eat. You can dance all you want with the wonderful music that is playing, and you can meet new people from different cultures.
I like que me gusta.
Hi, my name is Fidencio Tomas. We are going to have all Mexican, Hispanic food. We're going to have some chile rellenos. We're going to have some tacos. We're going to have music, live music.
On the 13th of May, you'll find many of the same things that you find for the fish fry, especially the authentic Mexican food. So please come out and join us. It's a wonderful event for the parish and for the entire community. The parish can be found at 5418 Louisiana Avenue. That is the address of the parish, and you'll see the wonderful tall spirals of the church climbing up to the sky, and the parking lot is right behind us. So right off of 55 in Bates, 5418 Louisiana Avenue, and we'll see you here.
So I'm hungry already thinking about that fish and that fish fried and tacos and
Yeah. It's
next
so
time.
good.
It's going to be fun. But anyway, I want to take a moment to thank our guest contributor, Jessica Olmos. And if you wish to find out more information about what's going on at Santa Cecilia's Church in South City, go to stceciliasparish.stl.org. Now, I'm here with Arelis Munoz Reyes, and Arelis is a DACA recipient and advocate for rights when it comes to tuition equality, and you are working very hard here in the state of Missouri to make sure that DACA recipients, dreamers, get equal rights. So, first of all, welcome to the show again. Because
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
My second time here.
I know, and last time we talked a little bit, but now I want to talk more in depth about what you are doing, your advocacy work with DACA, and what's going on here in the state of Missouri. So can you elaborate a little bit about, first of all, how you got into the situation that you're in? And I know that we talked in the past that you're a DACA recipient, but that advocacy part,
Right.
what inspired you?
What inspired me was all the barriers that I had to go through to attend higher education. So I went K through 12. I did my best. I worked so hard. And when I graduated, I knew I was undocumented, but I didn't really know what it meant until I graduated, and they were like, you can go to college. So that's when it really hit me, and I'm like, well, my parents brought me here for a better life, for a better education. So I started advocating for undocumented students. Luckily, at the time I graduated, Obama gave DACA, which helped me enroll in community college, and that's when I started letting advisors, counselors, teachers, everybody I knew, letting them aware of what DACA was and how they could help us get in-state tuition. Because right now, like Daniela say, we're paying triple tuition. So like I mentioned earlier, a class could be $300 for us, but for somebody that was born here, it's going to be $300. So if you multiply that, that adds up, and a lot of DACA recipients drop out because they can't afford to go to college, and that's unacceptable. We have the right, and I think every human being has the right to have education.
A good education. Mm-hmm. So you were propelled to stardom basically because you started this work very passionate. I know that you had an article recently in the Post that talked about you and being at school. How does the institution responded to your needs, to your efforts on bringing equality in tuition?
Right now, I go to Forest Park Community College, and I brought the issue up to the chancellor. Actually, he sent out a letter to everybody at the college supporting DACA, and he used my name. At the same time, I felt like if you're really supporting us, why not charge us in-state? We're still getting out of state, so we got to do something more than just a letter.
So as Daniela was explaining, that it's a very complicated issue because the legislature is putting restrictions and it's treating it as higher education funding. So I feel like the institution is in the middle.
Right. So what we're letting them know is that a lot of students are leaving to other states because other states are offering the state tuition. And we had a few actually stand up for it, and I believe in Kansas City. They're doing a lot of work there for the undocumented dreamers. And if we get together and really start pushing, hire people up there, they can make a difference.
How many students have you seen leave because they cannot afford education here in the state of Missouri?
That I'm aware of, and I knew personally, about 5 to 10 students have already left to Illinois, and they enroll in SIUE. So they're commuting from STL to Edwards, Illinois, because they're offering them a lot of help, a lot of support, and they're actually training counselors and advisors to deal with undocumented students and how to help them.
That are dreamers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so what do you think the future is, and what's your reaction to what happened in Arizona with the Supreme Court of Arizona taking the side of you are going to pay international tuition?
Right. So that was really devastating. I know people from Arizona. I have friends down there that went to school. Luckily, they're graduating now, so they don't have to pay out-of-state tuition.
Okay.
But for the new incoming freshmen, they are going to pay out-of-state tuition. And a lot of people are already dropping out of classes because they cannot afford to pay so much money without no financial aid help. So it was sad, and we're fearing, and hopefully that Missouri doesn't do that to us, because we're still trying to fight that here
in the state,
in the
state of
state.
Missouri, so that
Yeah.
doesn't happen. You being outside of the state too, advocating, right? Not only
Yeah.
in Jefferson City, but you've gone to Washington D.C.
Right.
So tell me about that experience.
Right. It was a beautiful experience. I got to meet a lot of other students from around the states, and I got to meet students from Missouri that are not from the St. Louis region. So that was really amazing. Up there, really seeing all the students getting empowered and, fighting for what they believe is right for them.
So what are you going for, and what do you think your future, and the future of many dreamers will be? And what are you studying?
Well, I'm studying 2 different things right now. I'm studying to become a social worker, but I also want a degree in business administration.
Okay.
So I don't know. I had a dream of opening up my own Mexican restaurant since I was little, and also social working, it's really needed here. So I'm going for that as well, and I'm really passionate about both things. And hopefully, dreamers are not gonna lose hope, and we're still gonna continue to fight because we're here to stay, basically.
And the last thing I want to say, so if you have other people that want to join you in that fight, where do we go? You said you have a Facebook page.
Right. So we created an organization that fights for undocumented students, but also families as well. And it's Cosecha, Missouri. You guys can go follow us on there, and we post anything that we have here. If we have events coming up, I know May Day, so May 1st is a day without immigrants, so we're planning something for that day.
Awesome. So don't forget, Cosecha, Missouri. You can find it on Facebook. Arelis, thank you so much once again for being here with us on En Breve. I really appreciate what you're doing, your advocacy, your fortitude, and I know that you're going to go very far. So keep forging ahead and fighting the good fight.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. And that's it for En Breve today. I'm Gilberto Pinela, and I'll see you next time. Keep it right here on STL TV.